Before I turn tonight's program over to Amy to guide us through, I would like to quickly introduce a couple of our VIPs who have joined us today. First off, we have our Third Circuit Court Judge, Wayne County, Mr. Mark Slavens. Thank you, Judge Slavens, for joining us. We have Thomas Payton, President of the Chamber of Commerce, as well as our current sitting board. We have Anne-Marie Graham-Hudak. We have Steve Schneiderman. We have Clerk Segrist, Treasurer Slavens, Trustee John Anthony, who I've missed introducing the last 2 or 3 events we've been through together. So John, I got you today, didn't miss you today. Did I get everybody? Summer, thank you very much. Summer Foster, sitting next to State Representative Christy Pagan, and obviously Jeff and Christy, I introduced you correctly?
That's okay.
Okay, State Representatives, Jeff Noble, Christy Pagan, thank you very much for joining us today. I think that covers everyone. See, there's no script, clearly. Amy, can we kick it over to you? Guide us, thank you.
Welcome. Happy to see everybody here. This is my favorite event of the year. It is always such a happy event where we honor some really wonderful people. And I want to explain the award categories that we'll be presenting today. The first one is the Community Achiever Award, and that is presented to an individual or group who has had an achievement that brought positive recognition to Canton. The second category of award is our Community Supporter. And those are our behind-the-scenes people who are just making things happen in the community, our consistent volunteers, and the people who are just always giving of themselves over and over. And our final category is the biggie. It's our Canton Hall of Fame Award, and that's given to somebody who has done varied, long-lasting service in the community. So we do have winners in all 3 of those categories today. That isn't always in the case, but it is today, so it'll be a wonderful afternoon. We also have some past Hall of Famers here, so if I could ask those people to stand, please. Yeah. Thank you for being here. So without further ado, we'll get the program started, and I'm going to call up our treasurer, Diane Slavens, to present the first award of the afternoon.
Well, thank you very much, and it's my pleasure to present the first award of the afternoon. Janet Brady received a significant award this past year. In 2016, she received the National Congress of State Games Adult Female Athlete of the Year Award. She's the first Michigan adult to receive this award, so bravo, Janet. In addition to the National Congress Award, she won the Myers State Games of Michigan Adult Female Athlete of the Year. And over the last 8 years, she's participated in both local, state, and national competitions, winning 128 medals. And if you get a chance, her medals are over there. It's unbelievable. I'm so impressed. On top of these awards, Janet also is the Michigan Senior Olympic record holder for the hammer throw for 2 years, and is currently a Michigan Senior Olympic gold medalist and record holder for the deadlift for her age and weight class. At the 2016 U.S. Track and Field Masters Outdoor Championship in Grand Rapids, she received 7th place in the hammer throw event. Janet also qualified for the National Senior Games in Birmingham, Alabama, as well as the State Games in America in Grand Rapids 2017. Her sporting achievements bring positive recognition to Canton, and we hope she keeps on competing for many years to come. Janet, if you want to come up and receive your award.
Thank you for this great honor. I really appreciate it. Last year I won the Community Supporter Award, but I couldn't make the ceremony because we were out of town. But again, thank you very much.
I forgot to let everybody know our state representatives brought certificates for all of our winners. In addition, we have a congressional recognition certificate from our Congressman Dave Trott. And also, we have a letter from former Hall of Famer at our 35th District Court, Judge Giroux, that he's given to each of the winners. So if you see them getting all these papers, that's what they're getting. So next, I'm going to call up Paula Cosby from Canton Leisure Services to present the first Community Supporter Award.
It is a privilege to be here today and present the next recipient with the Community Supporter Award. This is a person that I admire greatly and have enjoyed working with for the past 5 years. Natalie Anderson Tyson has been a tremendous community supporter with the Canton Goodfellows. She serves as secretary for this volunteer nonprofit group. Their goal is to provide low-income children with food, clothes, and gifts through the No Child Without a Christmas project. Each year, the Canton Goodfellows provides assistance to approximately 125 families with roughly 325 children. It takes a village of dedicated volunteers to organize the program, but Natalie is the driving force behind it all. Since the passing of Goodfellows President Nancy Spencer, she has been the glue that holds it all together. Natalie puts in countless hours throughout the year to ensure that every aspect of the gift collection, sorting, and distribution week runs smoothly. During the week prior to distribution, Natalie and her husband Mike have been known to put in 11-hour days, and that's 11-hour days that whole week. She organizes and provides assignments to the approximately 125 volunteers that come out to help. Natalie's organizational skills are top-notch. Each detail of the project is reviewed and checked again. She is extremely thorough and does an outstanding job. In addition, she has recruited key volunteers to help coordinate varied jobs with the program. The Canton Goodfellows is rock solid with Natalie on board. Her mission has always been to ensure that all children in Canton have a wonderful holiday. This lovely lady is a great humanitarian with a heart of gold. Time and time again, she gives selflessly to others. It is an honor to be able to present Natalie with the Community Supporter Award.
Paula's right. It does take a village. When I received the letter from Pat saying that I was going to get this award, first I started shaking. And then I said, but wait, it's a group effort. And it is. We can't do what we do without all of our members taking different jobs, all of our volunteers, which Paula supplies to us to go through all these bags, I'm sorry, I'm nervous. I feel like this is the Academy Awards. So we sort through the bags and all the people that work on the food drives, and there are just so many different aspects to Canton Goodfellows. And if you know anybody who would like to help, who has good organizational skills, we need more people. So this is a way to get the word out to say, come and join our group. It's not just me, it's an entire group working for these kids. It's all about the kids. Thank you so much. Can't follow directions.
Okay, to present our next award, we're going to call up our trustee, Anne Marie Graham-Hudak.
Thanks, Amy. I'm thrilled to present a Community Supporter Award to the individual I nominated for this honor, Amina Ahmed. She's been a strong advocate for intercultural dialogue for many years. She is currently Executive Director of the Asian Pacific Islander American Vote Michigan, which is a nonpartisan organization committed to justice and equity for the Asian American community throughout grassroots mobilization, civic engagement, leadership development, and coalition building. Amina is also, she's a very busy woman. She's the Detroit Equity Action Lab Fellows through the Wayne State University Law School. The Detroit Equity Action Lab convenes annual cohorts of leaders from 20 organizations working on many dimensions of racial equity. This is also to address racial disparities in Metro Detroit, translating equity lab sessions into action steps, policy recommendation, and improved public awareness. In our community, Amina has worked with the Michigan Roundtable for Diversity and Inclusion and is a founding member from the Plymouth Canton Citizens for Diversity and Inclusion, where she is currently a board member. She's also a member of the Canton Response to Hate Crimes Coalition, which was formed in 2007 to educate the community on the diversity of Canton and create awareness that hate crimes will not be tolerated. The coalition, which some of you already know, is proactive at organizing partnering events such as Not in Our Town Peace Rally, which we held in Heritage Park, Get to Know Your Muslim Neighbor, in conjunction with Library and the merging of Not in Our Town initiative with the National Night Out. Amina is also on the leadership team of the Local Beloved Community. It's a group that follows footsteps after Martin Luther King and his racial work. She's also a member of the Muslim community of the western suburbs here in Canton. Amina's passion and influence is not only known in Canton, but she's known well in southeastern Michigan, even as far as Washington, D.C. She brings a lot of passion to her work and to the community and helps bridge a lot of gaps that we have. She clearly has a passion for activism, fighting for diversity and inclusion, and encouraging open communication between all cultures and faiths. Amina, please come up and accept your award.
I'm extremely honored to accept this award, and I just want to say that connecting people or groups or faiths or anyone really isn't possible if there's not a hand on the other end that extends out. So I can extend mine, but there has to be someone to accept it. And people across the country who know me, or even in other countries, know that I'm a Michigan girl, and they can't convince me to move no matter how much they talk about the Atlantic Ocean or the Pacific Ocean or whatever they want to talk about, the skyscrapers in New York City. And I want to say that it's not just Michigan, it's Canton. So even within Michigan, people are like, they try to recruit my husband for other jobs, and they're like, well, just remember, he's going to have to commute from Canton. So I want to thank all of you for creating the community that I love so dearly, and I'm really honored to accept this award.
Okay, presenting our next award is our trustee, Stephen Snyderman.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see you all here on this now finally sunny day. I took time out from building my ark to come out and present this award. And I'm pleased to be able to present this award tonight because I love history. I'm not as much a history buff as the couple that I'll be presenting to today, but I love going to Greenfield Village with my family, Williamsburg in Virginia, and also the historical preservation park that we've put together here and other points of interest in our community are quite impressive. So today I would like to present to David and Ronnie Curtis. They are truly two rare jewels in the community. David comes from a long line of ancestors who have lived in Canton since the mid-1800s. With that history and David's interest in genealogy, he and his wife Ronnie have uncovered many interesting facts about Canton's history. They have spent much time traveling to Lansing, Washington, D.C., and Utah, researching archives to learn more about their heritage while uncovering pieces of Canton's history as well. As active members of the Canton Historical Society, David and Ronnie dedicated much of their time and energy into preserving, educating, and researching the Canton community. While researching their deep interests in the Civil War, David and Ronnie discovered many unknown facts about the soldiers that were from Canton and that were buried in Canton. On Memorial Weekend, they dress up in their reenactment attire and walk through the Cherry Hill Cemetery, retelling the stories of the soldiers from this town. They share the same passion for Canton's historical Bartlett Travis House, where Ronnie works as a docent, retelling the stories of the life of a pioneer. One of their biggest endeavors was the development and refinement of the Canton Historical Barn. The barn had to be moved from its original location on Canton Center Road because it was not equipped with the proper display of the historical farm equipment. David and Ronnie, along with others from the Historical Society, decided to raise the money and build the barn behind the Bartlett Travis House to restore these items. Since then, both David and Ronnie have helped care for this barn, as well as invite residents to visit and learn during the farmers market and in the summer and in the fall. Ronnie and David have trained many docents for the Canton Historical Museum and the Bartlett Travis House, as well as volunteered thousands of hours as board and committee members of the Historical Society. David worked many hours on the Katie Boyer barn. When it was decided that the barn was to be demolished to allow for the school to be built, David, along with other members of the community, developed a plan to move the barn. Piece by piece, the barn was dismantled, labeled, and driven over to Preservation Park, where it would be reassembled and used for future events. Now that to me is a real labor of love. On top of all this, they both volunteer, organize, and help fundraise for the Brews, Brats, and Bands at the Barn event. That was a lot of B's. Victorian teas at the Bartlett Travis House, and Christmas walks. Canton is grateful to have this couple helping us preserve and appreciate our own rich history. I am pleased to honor David and Ronnie Curtis with the Canton Community Supporter Award. Please come on up.
We're really honored to receive this award, and thank you for the recognition. I'd like to invite all of you to come out to Preservation Park. After June 4th, we'll have our Agricultural Museum open for the public, and also the BT House for tours. And we're always looking for volunteers who'd like to learn about the history of Canton and help preserve it and educate the public. And thank you.
Okay, presenting our next award is our clerk, Michael Segrist.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is truly an honor to be recognizing the person that I nominated for this award, Mr. James Malinowski. Now, Jim has made a consistent contribution to the community by supporting a wide variety of organizations and institutions that directly and indirectly impact the lives of people in our community. He has given his time, energy, and resources to help build bonds inside the community and make the lives of others better. Jim was a member of the Canton Township Tax Board Review for over a decade and has also served on his Homeowners Association board for many years. I'm sure anybody here who has volunteered their time for an HOA knows you must have a true heart of service to take on that endeavor. James is a longtime member of the Canton Chamber of Commerce. He has also volunteered for the Parish Council at St. Thomas of Becket, as well as coached basketball for the Catholic Youth Organization. Most importantly, the way I met Jim was he's the co-founder and director of Canton's Boys and Brews, a social network of friends who take turns hosting monthly gatherings where half of the entry fee is donated to a charity. This group was started in 2014 and focuses on giving to charities in the Canton and Plymouth area. With their collections over the years, they have been able to donate to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Michigan, the Police Benevolent Fund, along with numerous other charities. James has managed to do all of this while maintaining a successful law practice here in our community. He represents his practice at many events in Canton, such as the Senior Summit and Chamber Expo. He is an accredited attorney with the Department of Veterans Affairs, so he can assist veterans with aid and attendance. In addition to serving the community outside of his business life, he is always happy to attend or sponsor an event on behalf of his law practice, reaching out to help in any way that he can. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Jim could not be here today to accept this award, but accepting on his behalf will be Mr. Rob Bovitz, a friend, who would like to say some words.
Well, first of all, thank you, Michael, for the honor. I've known Jim for years, and his wife, Sue, just passed away this week ago, and he was buried from St. Thomas of Becket. But the Boys and Brews concept, that's the most fun way to raise money I've ever known. Jim presented this concept a couple of years ago, and a couple of other charities we've given to in the area would be the Village Arts Factory, $1,000 at a time for these different charities, the Police Benevolence Fund, and the next $1,000 pretty soon is the Canton Goodfellas. So I know Dave and Ronnie, maybe a Historical Society will be next on the list, but it's a great way to raise money for charity, and that's the least of what Jim does, but he was definitely a very big community supporter and a loving father and husband, and I will be seeing him at 4 o'clock to give this award to him. He's just not quite ready to be out in public right now, so thank you.
All right, presenting our next award will be Trustee John Anthony.
Thanks, Amy. My award recipient is Bob Pachoco. Bob has been a great contributor to the Canton community. Being a developer and business owner, Bob's experience and knowledge has benefited the community in so many ways. Bob served many years on the board member of the Canton Community Foundation, where he has been a major fundraiser for their charity donations. Some of the organizations helped with the funds are the Camp Able, the Canton Benevolent Fund, WSDP Radio, and the Plymouth Canton Citizens for Diversity and Inclusion. Bob was also a key player in the development of the industrial park along Haggerty Road, which helped attract many of the businesses that are here in Canton today. He also served on the Canton Building Board of Appeals for the last 27 years, where he recently resigned. Bob has selfishly spent many hours helping the township work with residents and builders to achieve a positive outcome on their projects. Canton will miss his experience, but we are grateful for his longtime service. Bob could not be with us today to receive his award, but receiving for Bob on his behalf is Township Supervisor Pat Williams.
Yeah, folks, Bob Pachoco, I spoke to his daughter a couple weeks back. He's due to failing health, will not be joining us tonight. They're going to have a gathering with the family, and I will personally deliver it to him in the next couple weeks. Bob's a phenomenal guy, and you've heard bits and pieces of the historical contributions Bob has made, and I'm sitting here today thinking probably one of the most significant was back in the early 80s, Canton Township was seen as an extension of basically Garden City Westland, and anything south of Ford Road was not even an option to buy a home. And back then it was Tom Yak, an attorney out of Plymouth, sat down at Bodie's restaurant and on a map, scratched out on a napkin, well, if we put in a golf course south of Ford Road, we'll put in higher end homes. If we do this, we do that, okay. So the Yak and this attorney came up with the concept to how can we get the south side of Ford Road to be an economic development engine as well as a desirable community. Bob Pachoco was one of a few, and there's not a lot of people know this story, one of the few guys who Mr. Yak had reached out to, and I think Lauren Bennett and the others at the time, and said, can you help us with this concept? And what they did was they acquired all the property that we're sitting on today, before there was a golf course, before there was the summit. And by gathering all the parcels together, got it in a position where it could be developed as it is today. And so that is one significant contribution that very few people know that Bob Pachoco has made to our community. So I will look forward to giving this to him and his family next week. Thank you.
Okay, and presenting our next award is our trustee, Summer Foster.
Good afternoon. If you've been to any event in Canton, you have probably met Mary Jo Rake. Mary Jo has been an active member and volunteer in the community for the past 10 years, dedicating many volunteer hours to the community in every way possible. She has given well over 450 hours of her time to multiple Canton events. Mary Jo regularly volunteers for the Canton Goodfellows, helping with collection, sorting, and distribution to the families in Canton. She has dedicated her time for the last 6 years in helping the families in Canton. Mary Jo has also spent her time volunteering for the Emergency Food Assistance Program, where she helps distribute food to the seniors at Canton Place. This program is a supplemental food program that occurs once a month and has become a key source of food for the residents. Mary Jo helps make this program run efficiently and always with a smile on her face. Of all of the volunteering Mary Jo does, the Village Theater benefits the most. She has dedicated much of her time to the theater, serving as an usher and helping with the behind-the-scenes work, greeting people with a smile and offering to help in any way that she can. In addition to the above, Mary Jo has also volunteered for the Lower Rouge River Trail Cleanup, 100 Days to Health, Thanksgiving Turkey Trot, Rally on the Ridge, Liberty Fest, St. Joe's Pro-Am, Brews, Brats, and Bands, and many more. Mary Jo's support and time in volunteering has made it possible for the township to provide events to the community without having to fully staff them. She has been a loyal and dependent asset to Canton, and we are very lucky to have her in our community. Ladies and gentlemen, Mary Jo cannot be here today. She had a vacation that was scheduled long ago, but she's very sad to miss this wonderful afternoon. But we will make sure she receives her well-deserved award, and let's have a round of applause for Mary Jo.
We're going to finish up the program now. If I could have State Representative Pagan and Noble join me. Come on up. Then Keith, if you could get us started on the video program. But my knowledge and experience with the Partingtons goes back a couple decades, and it hasn't been a direct relationship or even, other than saying hi occasionally at different events, it has been through the different community-based organizations that I have participated in, as well as my wife Nancy, which have been literally dozens and dozens. A common thread that we have in Canton Township with all these community-based organizations are the Partingtons and their involvement and what their family has done for the Canton community over the decades, and it is sincerely appreciated. That being said, we've put together a little video presentation. If Keith, if you could help us start that. Thank you.
John and Lisa Partington. Their name is synonymous with Holiday Market as they have owned and operated the store in Canton for nearly 20 years. Right from the start, they embraced Canton with the attitude of, if you're going to live here and want your community to support you, you have to support them. And boy, have they. You would be hard-pressed to find a local organization that hasn't in some way benefited from the Partingtons' generosity and community spirit. And most of the time, they go about this quietly and without fanfare. They work with Waltonwood at Cherry Hill to do grocery shopping and drop-off each week for residents who cannot make it into the store. When St. Thomas of Becket calls needing 250 hot dogs and buns, the Partingtons happily make the donation. The Partingtons support the Special Olympics, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, area schools, churches, and the list goes on and on. Every community organization knows that the Partingtons have an open door policy for groups to come in and raise money for a variety of worthy causes. Ask anyone who works at their store and they will tell you the staff is like a family. During the holiday season, they adopt 2 to 3 families from their employee clan who are facing financial challenges and provide everything needed for a happy Thanksgiving or Christmas. They have even been known to pay other bills as well, all quietly done behind the scenes. Every year since its inception, the Partingtons have sponsored and supported the Brews, Brats, and Bands at the Barn event in partnership with Canton Leisure Services. Funds raised at this event benefit the Canton Historical Society, and approximately $70,000 has been raised over the last 7 years to help to preserve the history of Canton Township, educate people about civic history, and promote the township's cultural heritage. In June 2014, John and Lisa suddenly lost their 20-year-old son, Max. He died of an undiagnosed condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. There are often no symptoms, and a regular physical exam can't detect it. The Partington family were somehow able to turn their tragedy into an opportunity to remind us all how special life is and live life to the fullest. John and Lisa, along with their children Claire, Emily, and Jack, began the Live Like Max Foundation, which helps to fund healthy heart checks for student athletes. They are committed to trying to ensure that no other family has to suffer a loss like theirs. The Live Like Max Foundation's #1 goal is spreading awareness to all student athletes and their families about athletes' heart and the importance of getting checked yearly to avoid this senseless death. Another goal of the Live Like Max Foundation is to partner with Beaumont Hospital in providing funds to maintain their free student Healthy Heart Check program. This program is 100% funded by private donations. The Partingtons have helped enrich and strengthen the Student Heart Check program in countless ways. They attend every heart screening event, have helped buy new and improved medical equipment such as EKG and echo machines, and are constantly thinking of ways to support the program and raise awareness about sudden cardiac arrest in the young. John also engages with parents and kids at the screenings to tell them the story of Max. At the last screening in February, a family from Lapeer who had just lost their son to HCM attended the screening. John and Lisa welcomed them with open arms and spent time talking to them about their loss and the screening program. The very first Live Like Max health screening was done with Plymouth Canton Community Schools, and over 400 students were screened. Since then, they have expanded the cause, visiting high schools throughout the region. There have been 1,772 students screened thus far since starting in 2015, with 249 able to play with follow-up designations and 18 diagnoses that required athletes stopping physical activity. Endless charity events are held to raise money for the Live Like Max Foundation, including wine tastings, 5K runs, and fundraisers at Super Bowl in Canton. John and Lisa were instrumental in organizing the very first Canton wine tasting for charity, which raised $5,000 for the Canton Lions. Since then, the wine tasting has become a regular event, benefiting one or more charities every year. In the last few years specifically, Holiday Market has partnered with the Chamber of Commerce to present the Canton Community Wine Tasting event, where 50% of the proceeds benefit the Live Like Max Foundation. This year was the biggest one yet, with more than $7,800 benefiting the foundation. Thomas Payden, president of the Canton Chamber of Commerce, said there is no one better to give the Hall of Fame award to than John and Lisa Partington. He stated that it takes someone special to turn tragedy into an opportunity to remind us all how special life is. He said it is truly an honor to have the Partingtons as partners and members of the Canton Chamber of Commerce. The Partingtons have devoted so much of their time and generosity to the Canton community and are more than deserving of this recognition. In gathering information for this award, the theme that repeated itself over and over was that the Partingtons do not say no. They have opened their store and their hearts to so many groups, causes, and events. Canton is fortunate to have residents like John and Lisa Partington. Their legacy will be one that will continue to benefit the community and the hearts of young athletes for years to come.
It's with my pleasure and distinct honor that I get to now introduce to you John and Lisa Partington.
But we are deeply honored and very humbled, and we feel like we don't do enough, so we'll double our efforts. We have raised our kids It's been a cornerstone of Lisa and I to give twice as much to life as you take. It's been a cornerstone since they could walk. Take twice as much to the party as you will consume. It's a good way to go through life. We don't always see the challenges that come to us in life, sometimes good, sometimes bad, and you will often turn on a dime. But the lesson we have learned over and over again through our tragic loss is that giving is the most powerful healing medicine on this planet. And it has taken us to a very good place in what otherwise could have been a terrible time for our family. So we will continue to give for that very reason, because giving is a healing medicine to us. And we promise to carry this award with the honor and the dignity on which it was given. We will continue to give, and we'll, like I said, double our efforts. Thank you very much. This is a true honor for us.
Thank you.
You'll take us home?
Yes. It's hard to talk after that. When the supervisor called Mr. Partington to let him know that they were getting this award, that Jen and Lisa were receiving the award, he was excited not because he was getting it, but because he thought more people might find out about HCM and about the Live Like Max Foundation. That's the first thing he said, more awareness. And that's what, usually our Hall of Famers, that's the people they are. They're more concerned about how they can help other people than themselves. So congratulations again to the Partingtons. You guys do wonderful work in our community, and we're so happy you're here. Congratulations to all of our winners, and thank you for serving the community. To our past Hall of Famers, thank you for continuing to stay involved. That concludes our service, and we hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for coming.